Greetings, dear friends. We are here. It is our intention to assist you in creating a new vision, a vision that inspires you to live and love on planet Earth. Like a priceless jewel buried in dark layers of soil and stone, Earth radiates her brilliant beauty into the caverns of space and time. We ask you, as seekers of the great stories, to proclaim an allegiance to Earth. Pledge the transformation of yourselves, which is the journey through light and dark, and honor Earth's momentous role in setting you free. Your task at this point in time is to activate the living library of Earth, to restore Earth and the human version of life to the forefront of creation. This is the journey you are on. We ask each of you to open your mind and heart, for within your body and Earth herself lie the answers to the great mysteries you seek. Although we appear to exist from without as a collective of Pleiadian energies calling to you from the future, we also exist within you. We are your ancestors existing within you as well as without. We are you on the golden spirals of time, cycling the epochs of existence, calling to you yourselves to reconsider all you thought holy. We ask you to reevaluate the purpose of your life, to redefine the forces that rule you, to resurrect the codes of consciousness stored in your being. It is time for you to reclaim your knowledge as a creator through thought, to recall the purpose of the living library of Earth, to restore beauty through value of life, to remember who you are. Journey with us now through the mysteries of your world. Imagine you have 12 strands of DNA, and that these activate and connect to your 12 chakras, which are energy doorways through which you access your spiritual heritage. Herein lies a key. Your challenge is to know yourself through your imagination, accessing your inner networks and bulletin boards of reality which are invisible to your naked eye. We are here for the game, the codes, and the master numbers. Our ancestors created events that presently stifle our development on the Pleiades, and as Pleiadians, we are seeking to discover the solutions to this grand dilemma, a predicament that you share with us. Our ancestors came from a universe that had completed itself and understood universally that it was Prime Creator, as the journey of Prime Creator in time. They came from a universe that had discovered its essence, creativity. By discovering that essence, they found out that they were creators. They came into the Pleiades because that star system would someday be able to help you at a most challenging time, a time when you would be ready to reconnect with Prime Creator. Our ancestors are also your ancestors. They gave their DNA to the original planners, and this DNA became part of the DNA of the human species. The plan was to create an intergalactic exchange center of information within your planet Earth. You are guided to create thought forms to fire the codings in others. Members of the family of light are able to integrate and survive reality shifts without destroying the bodies or life forces they occupy. As a member of the family of light, the ability to change reality exists innately inside you. You must create the belief system whereby you can do this, because your mind is structured to evolve and form your experience based on what you command, no matter what paradigm platform you spring from. The family of light acts as a stabilizing factor for dimensional shifts, and its members serve as carriers of a frequency being used to awaken many. Members of the family of light have pushed themselves past the laws of third-dimensional reality through to another dimension, so to speak, by uncovering the coding inside themselves. Many of you may have the feeling that you have done this before. You have. You lost your memory of this process because you came here to operate under the same laws as everyone else. When you incarnated into the Earth plane, you received certain matched and paired recessive genes holding light codes that gave you the highest opportunity to develop psychic and intuitive abilities. In addition, these genes carried some memory that separated you from others, even though you could not name it. With these powers and talents, it has been your task to build on your life and allow the momentum to lead you into something different than most humans. As an extensive mutation occurs on the inside of humans, also stimulated from the outside by those who are assisting you in this genetic upliftment, you must act and integrate what is awakening within you. It's time for you to make a commitment to create joy, creativity, and love for yourself. Only then will you benefit others, for if you do not evolve yourself, you do not serve others. Humans are considered by some in this universe to be priceless, though in actuality you yourselves have no idea of the value stored in the human body. Your human body is the most valuable thing you will ever own and encounter. You are priceless. Your language is encoded, and sounds create reflected images that stimulate and structure consciousness. Spoken words carry different vibrations than written words. We like to play with both forms of language. When we speak, our intonation has its own signature to it, and we use subtle variances with emphasis on particular sounds. When you come into our vibration, you are getting many, many instructions, triggering layers and layers of knowledge. There are the words you hear that you think you understand, and there is the space that occurs between all the words, which is another teaching in and of itself. And then there are the sounds we make that echo in your cells, that tell you a Pleiadian story. The inner and the outer workings are coming together to speed up your evolution. We have suggested that approximately 500,000 years ago, tumultuous events took place in this area of existence that affect your present-day Earth. To a large degree, Earth lost her sovereignty, and another force of rulership came in and claimed ownership to this prime hunk of real estate that you call home. These recently appointed godlike administrators have not always been the kindest and the most benevolent sorts. Earth was established billions of years ago for a purpose. She was to be an intergalactic exchange center of information, part of a vast library system where data from many, many galaxies was stored. A living library, to be precise. The original planners of Earth were members of the family of light, beings who worked for and were associated with an aspect of consciousness called light. Light is information. Members of the family of light created the information center they had conceived. They designed a place where galaxies would contribute their information and would be able to participate and share their specific knowledge. The project of the living library on Earth was eventually fought over. Skirmishes took place, and Earth became a place of conflict and duality. When these skirmishes occurred, a certain group of entities fought in space and won the territory of Earth. These new owners wanted the native Earth species to remain unevolved and uninformed, so that the species would be easier to control. The original species of human creation experienced great destruction, and its DNA was scattered. What the gods now realize is that we are in a dilemma in the Pleiades. There is a tyranny that was let loose on Earth, and that tyranny has returned to us. Did you know that we made the tyranny? That we stripped you of your heritage of a fully functioning 12-stranded DNA? Do not be naive about Pleiadians, including us. Why do you think we are doing this healing work on your planet? Consider that perhaps we need you for our next phase of development. If we wish to grow, we must heal a past that we have been connected to. These last few years, you have been impulsed into diving more deeply into personal exploration, the meaning of identity, and connecting with your cosmic overview of life. Perhaps at first it seemed as if you were reaching far beyond what the parameters of civilization supported. As you met in quiet clusters everywhere, letting out your deepest yearnings and knowings and secrets that you had your whole life, you began to realize that perhaps you were not so far outside the parameters of civilization. Perhaps civilization was moving as you extended the boundaries. For the last 500,000 years, various civilizations on Earth have been seeded from different star systems that were part of the original library program. Each appeared at a different time period, penetrating a controlled force field that isolated Earth and kept it inaccessible as a library. These civilizations would flourish for 500 years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years. Then the forces that own the planet would somehow shoo them away or destroy them. These civilizations could not establish ownership here, so they left clues or steps to the ladder as part of the master plan. Egyptians, Incas, Balinese, Greeks, Tibetans, Sumerians, Native Americans, Maya, Aboriginals, and many, many other indigenous peoples have contributed keys of understanding, all pointing to the heavens. If present-day humans could read the steps and clues left by these cultures, they could once again liberate and own Earth. Over time, an idealized form of civilization was transduced here on Earth to meet the greatest needs of the people. The greatest teaching brought to the planet was the ideal that all humans are created in equality and that life is to be honored in all forms. Expand your concept of existence and imagine this. For an occupation, game masters orchestrate realities and then insert these realities as life forms onto different planets. Game masters are brilliant. Not only do they conceive of the game and create the entire blueprint for the civilization to flourish in, down to the finest artisans and beggars, they feed themselves into the civilization as well. They know their civilization is complete when their own identities merge with the civilization so that they are in the civilization and creating it at the same time. We, as Pleiadians, are a game master experiment. The game masters are formless, and yet they can overlay themselves and infuse themselves into many different shapes. When game masters create a particular blueprint for a civilization, it has many versions of itself and is expressed on many worlds and in many realities. Part of the game master's task is to juggle all of these realities at once and to learn from every single version of that blueprint. The blueprint is not simply anchored into one realm, it is anchored into many realms. We want to push your boundaries of identity. We want to confound what you believe reality is, because then you will be able to feel information from your higher self penetrate. We are here to help you dismantle the blueprint that you have been living within, and to give you suggestions of very general laws around which you can build new structures. The codes and master numbers we seek are geometric formulas and combinations of intelligence stored within the human. The human, of course, is an integral part of the design for the living library. Each creation in the living library has its purpose and has a great amount of data stored in it. Inside the human body are formulas to replicate other forms of intelligence throughout your universe. Feel that out. Inside the evolved 12-stranded human are formulas to create life for other forms of intelligence in this universe. You are a transducer of energy. Just as we transduce energies from one system of reality into yours, and our teachers and others transduce to us, you must take what you know and very gently transduce it, playfully, without fear, for Earth's inhabitants. Others will see that you are stable, grounded, and loving, and that you work in the name of peace. Stay clear on that. Always adhere to the concept of peace as you reach for something currently unknown, and make friends with energies whose looks could frighten others. You are doing very, very powerful work. It is our intention that those of you who know us and are familiar with our energies have a lighter step on the planet and are able to live the keys that we share with you. We give you keys straightforwardly, and we trick you. We always trick you. It is wise that you learn to be a little suspicious of us. If you are not, you are a fool. Learn to have skepticism with all things, and learn that sometimes we have great reason for what we do, even though perhaps it is not apparent to you at the time. All we do is create imagery from which you can evolve. Do not hang your hat on our story. Listen to the stories of everyone, and then make your own synthesis. Figure it out for yourself. Every teacher on the Earth plane at this time is offering you a clue. We offer you one clue. We simply have our own snazzy way of doing it. We have our own personality and our own agenda, and we know how to stimulate you, to get you to move and be uplifted. We know how to set you free, and that is what we are after. It is our intention to return the value of human existence to the forefront of creation. We work with very ancient beings called the Keepers of Time, who steer your universe. The Keepers of Time are the original instigators, the innovators of the living libraries. They are creations of the Game Masters. You must be, and we use your human terms here, very highly evolved in order to make contact with the Keepers of Time. Like the yogis and shamans of your world, the Keepers of Time possess ambiguous personalities. They are enigmas. Although they are known and respected, none know where they dwell, how to contact them, or what they look like. It is our fortune to be able to work with the Keepers of Time. They are our teachers, as we are one set of your teachers. The Keepers of Time have tricked us into discovering the living libraries. They have tricked us as well into figuring out how to activate these libraries, because the Keepers of Time do not want to lose their universe. The Keepers of Time do everything in their power not to lose this universe, because if your universe destroys itself before it completes, it will not fulfill its purpose. They see that it is headed towards destruction and separation, a separation that they, in fact, support. The separation that the Keepers of Time are concerned with is the separation of existing life forms from their essence. It is through this method that reptilian and other energies are creating tyranny. There are civilizations in space that are dying because they do not have access to the living library. Creativity have challenged you for millennia. The third chakra relates to your solar plexus, your gut, so to speak. When open, it assists you to feel and intuit your way through life. In women, because of menstrual bleeding and childbirth, this area is often more active and regarded with great respect. Your will, power, and feelings lie here. The fourth chakra aligns with your heart, which, when open, connects you to all of life. Compassion flows from this center, allowing you to understand the why and wherefore of what you perceive. The flow of compassion takes you beyond judgment, which acts as a trap to separate you. The fifth chakra is found in your throat, opening the great gift of vocal expression through which you speak your truth. The sixth chakra activates your third eye, stimulating your ability to adjustment within all living life forms so that each evolves and opens simultaneously, creating a matching and a meeting of vibration and consciousness. Remember, everything is alive. Animals are brilliant and are much smarter than humans. Many are now moving to this world of light, which is why there are so many so-called extinctions taking place. Many of these animals are very in tune with the quality of life. They know that the quality of life they desire cannot be found anymore in your global sphere, and therefore they are departing. The animals were given to you as companions upon this planet. It has been up to you whether you eat them or not. The animals do not object to being eaten if that adds to the quality of your life. It is our intention and deepest desire that you live to see and feel these effects. to know your multidimensional selves as spanning the worlds of both Earth and the Pleiades. We are the intermediaries, those who open the gates, make introductions, and show the way. The gigantic force of intelligence awaits, stating, "We want to meet the humans. We want to work with them. We want to be involved with this project." And we have said, "Hold up. You can't flood into their lives because they are fragile. You must be patient until they get to the place where it will be easy for you to meet." We want to assist you in redreaming the living library, making it into a new place with a new form of vitality. There are a few places where the living library is already activated. It is not just that the land itself is alive, it is necessary that human consciousness translate and work with the aliveness. That is what makes the living library, because it is through you that the living library is accessed. A living library without humans is incomplete. You are the essential component within the living library. We would like each of you, as you walk on Earth, to speak to the blades of grass, the grains of sand, the petals of flowers, the butterflies, the insects, the ants, the birds, the bees, the ferns, the leaves, the drops of water, the dew, and to state your presence. State, "I am here. It is my intention for you to release to me what knowledge has been stored within you as a living form. I am now here to receive it, to translate it, to understand it, and then to transduce it out to the rest of the planet. I am desiring to activate the living library of this planet." We would like that to be your living meditation and intention. Allow the land, the living library that is alive with the love frequency, to move into your body. Earth is alive and holds the knowledge you seek, and your consciousness affects what Earth reveals. All people who penetrate and discover the realms of the unknown and the domains of the mystics have unique experiences and interpretations of reality. Humankind is coded, and as you evolve, you follow a pattern. Your blueprint leads you into a concealed library of knowledge within you. The gods who formed Earth planted devices called chronometers that measure the evolution of human consciousness. When enough people awaken and trigger the chronometers, new data is opened on the planet. The mass consciousness is suddenly opened because enough people on the planet are able to follow their blueprints and respond. When you visit ancient sacred sites that you call power places, you experience electromagnetic formulas for higher consciousness. You often pick up what you left there thousands of years ago for you to reclaim. By journeying to these places, your body is exposed to these energies and accesses the blueprint along which you can evolve. The ancients built temples and megalithic structures in particular places to utilize the accumulation of energy in vortices. Each of these sites had a specialty. The great stone circle of Avebury in England was used as a dimensional doorway for various star systems, particularly Sirius, the Pleiades, and Arcturus. The stones were placed in a specific configuration that used light as a key to draw these stellar energies to Earth. Thus, an exchange of information was possible through a human-Earth stellar link-up. Such sites offered the energy of fertility, and couples would journey to make love at the sites in order to conceive, creating lives energized and characterized by the vortices. Other locations were designed as broadcasting stations, as calendars, or as oracles to read the future and expand reality. When you enter sacred sites and intentionally imagine your chakras as doorways of energy opening to your personal memories, the sites become activated. Imagination is the most powerful force available to humankind. The ancients had the ability to feel the abundance of energy in these locales, They tapped into and used these enhanced places where lines of energy joined forces and there was a merging and meeting of dimensions and other worlds. If you never get to go to a sacred site and you spend time only in your backyard, you are not going to miss out. The intent to open your memory banks and to activate collective memory, plus your exposure to the frequency of materials and artifacts from others who have been to these places, are all you need to experience your own awakening of the energies. Since the early 1980s, crop circles have become conspicuously abundant in and around the Wiltshire and Salisbury Plain areas of Great Britain, where numerous stone megalithic structures remain to this day. Mysterious markings appear as if by magic in the grain fields throughout the English countryside. They are synchronistically aligned to the sacred sites of Stonehenge, Avebury, and Silbury Hill, all widely recognized as places of celestial attunement. Part of the purpose of the glyphs is to pave the way for the mass consciousness to grasp what is inconceivable at the present time. You are not alone. The complexities of the markings will become more pronounced as the glyphs accelerate your awareness of other life forms. Ancient prophecies speak of signs upon earth and signs in the sky. There is a plan within a plan within a plan. There are friends in the sky and beyond, orchestrating layers of influence over and above what you can conceive of now. There are combinations of forces within the crop circles, and you will see them as light geometry dancing around in the air. The glyphs create shifts that will bring data to you. Then your challenge is to comprehend this new knowledge and to have your feet on the ground and your head at the top of the universe, all at the same time. Can you hold that imagery? You are vast, and you are capable of connecting with the deepest cosmos and grounding it into the earth. Geometry and mathematics, coupled with planetary and star knowledge, are the basis for the construction of dimensional doorways. Knossos on the island of Crete, Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, the Acropolis, Delphi, Machu Picchu, Tiwanaku, and many others serve as doorways to other dimensions. These structures, built through the use of sacred geometry, totally confound present-day science. There is a mental distortion that prevents geometric structures from anchoring themselves more permanently on this plane of existence. Because your human capabilities are incomplete as linked through your DNA, you cannot mentally assist a structure in maintaining itself into being. All influences, both inner and outer, must be factored in. The elements of earth, air, fire, and water are as crucial to consider as the element of human thought. Geometry conveys its own teaching as it manifests into physical form. Shape and size radiate the essence of sacred geometry, creating knowledge transmitted from dimension to dimension. Perhaps you do not realize that you yourselves have different physical shapes. For example, dolphins are another version of humans. Dolphins exist not only in water but on land and in the air. They exist in many dimensions at once. A joyous nature is one of their most outstanding characteristics. It arises from a very highly evolved consciousness that knows it is never destroyed. A consciousness that has a deep bonding with its human counterpart who has forgotten and believes that it is destroyed. Dolphins and whales are members of the family of light, and for eons they have carried frequencies from some of your ancient civilizations. The dolphins of your Atlantean culture were coded before the demise of that civilization and were given much information to retain and pass on genetically and telepathically. They are presently transmitting that information to the human species. Earth stores many remnants of civilizations, some of which spring from a point you would call the future. Your now can be seeded and influenced from many directions. Some of the so-called foundation stones of your current world beliefs are not remnants from the past. Distortions can be constructed in the future to plant in the now and appear as if they came from a point a long time ago. Planted artifacts can purposely divert you from understanding the identities of invisible rulers that you perhaps call gods. If you can reach the point of understanding that the material realm is a symbolic representation and not get lost in hoarding, then there are many magnificent artifacts that can reappear. Your planet has numerous changes to go through over the next 20 years, and these ancient artifacts, laden with coded knowledge, will begin to reemerge. At the end of these times, in December 2012, as decreed by the Mayan calendar, there will be an anchoring of many dimensions. This will reveal the mystery behind existence. It will be as if Earth suddenly blossoms overnight, even after some portions are seemingly destroyed. Tibetans understand many of Earth's cosmic keys. There is a portal in Tibet, a huge energetic opening. Portals are composed of corridors of time. The Tibetans, basically up until the 1950s, diligently maintained an energy doorway. Over hundreds of years, they have acted as guardians and emissaries for those who ventured through. The Tibetans have been working with extraterrestrials for eons. At one time, the region known as the Himalayas was at sea level. Under the mountains of Tibet, there are huge veins of gold and caves filled with crystals. There are artifacts stored there that indicate the ancientness of civilization. Included are many physical bodies that have been preserved. The Tibetans had a predilection for preservation just as the Egyptians did, only they had a different method involving gold. The Egyptians employed the mummification process, which involved memory from Atlantean times when people were rejuvenated and restored if their DNA was intact. Gold is part of what allows dimensional doorways to be opened. It anchors portals and brings about transmutation, and is reserved for more than costumes, crowns, masks, and jewelry. It holds the highest vibration and is a premier conductor of electrical current. When gold is stored or created in great abundance, light portals can be opened and access to other dimensions unfolds. Understanding the communication process, both inner and outer, is a key to a peaceful Earth. The inner you communicates continuously with a you that can be called your higher self or your inner teacher. It is a version of you invisible to your current perceptions, but nonetheless has a powerful influence. As your psychic awareness increases, it becomes easier to know what someone else is about because it is energized by their being. You are able to read energy as your communication skills expand to consider new ways in which to translate meaning. A form of communication that can free you from the traditional interpretations is toning, the process of allowing sound to move through you, playing you like an instrument. Toning is a key to releasing stored knowledge. It unlocks a doorway and allows information to flood into your body. In this age of information, you are steered away from the natural sources of gathering knowledge for yourself. You have been sold the idea that television is a great source of information. You damage your own consciousness and the potential that your consciousness has when you give over your time to television. You suppress your imagination and do not use one of the greatest gifts you possess. It will be understood centuries from now how in the later half of the 20th century people were induced into dazed states and made to behave, to be asleep, and to be sick through television. Reconsider what you've learned about life and choose to listen to nature's broadcast, the voice of Earth, as she speaks. You are on assignment throughout all of your day. We are asking all of you to play this heart game much more often than just when you have spare time. Make a commitment to have your heart open and see that it stays open and that you use the heart energy of the Mother Goddess. This will make all the difference because it is not just your heart that is involved. It is the heart of the Goddess. However, the Goddess needs your heart to open to have her energy move through you. As energy increases on the planet, blocks in your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies are magnified. Unexpressed feelings and ideas create obstacles to the flow of energy whose purpose it is to connect you. You must help the process by being responsible for who you are. Wherever you have a prejudice or difficulty, I don't want to know that. I hate this about myself. I don't like that. You can trust that the magnifying glass will be put over it. You will squeal and squirm until you get it right. And if you don't, you will manifest the block in the form of a difficult challenge. Everything is intensifying in order to teach people about responsibility and maintaining a clarity of purpose and intent. Utilizing different modalities of body work in this day and age is key to your survival. Pursuing avenues of discovery through bodywork facilitates and quickens the recognition of your identity. There is a great humor in highly evolved energies, especially those who work with the love frequency. It can be recognized as a trademark. With energies you encounter, make certain there is an expansive sense of humor, for laughter is a key to freedom. There's plenty of room for joy in all of existence, and this is a concept you are seeking to grasp. We encourage you to operate out of your feeling center, your solar plexus or gut. You have the same capacity and activity inside your stomach lining as you do in your brain cells. Reconsider yourself. You can instantly see that you alter your experience when you believe in and find opportunity in every event you create. We remind you that opportunity is often disguised as loss. All life has chakra systems. They are energetic storehouses around and inside of life forms. The chakras connect the internal workings, the physiological third-dimensional operations, with the multidimensional, etheric layered goings-on. They bring energy from the non-physical realms into the physical, if utilized properly. All forms of life have these energy portals as doorways and places where they can be refueled. What each form of life does with its refueling is within the blueprint or the DNA of the form of life itself. As your DNA is being reordered into a new expression of itself, the frequency or identity that you carry is speaking something on a non-physical level. Every place you go, you carry the mutating energy that announces itself. Your consciousness announces itself to all life forms. Maybe those who are next to you in a shopping mall or a restaurant are not quite aware on a conscious level of who you are. However, when you take a walk in the woods and fields or go into the oceans, you will see other life forms around you that are much more aware of who you are. They change their response, and their DNA changes because yours is changing. Through you, all of nature becomes more available as the living library. You, as human beings, are the library cards, the keys to the living library. All the information stored in Earth's library is accessible through you. You were designed to be merged with, influenced, and emerged through. You have come here to master the human version of the spiritual evolutionary process, to live with it, to merge with many different realities, and to allow realities to emerge through you. As humans, your job is to own and take care of the living library. In the past, those who wanted to experience the living library would, with permission, look out of the eyes of human beings. As they looked,
the humans would become the gods and goddesses in charge, the tour guides of this reality, so to speak. At one time, humans on Earth held very honorable and highly evolved positions. You had glorious, vibrant forms emanating energy and light. Just as chefs have specialties in food preparation, humans had specialized ways of experiencing the living library and accessing information. Those who desired knowledge came to experience and discover the Library of Earth. They merged with humans, who served as library cards into Earth and all her majesty. Becoming one with other energies and allowing them to look out of your eyes in order to experience more was a divine purpose. Humans made themselves available for this process. There is glorious information that is desperately needed in existence, and it is stored here on Earth. As the reorganization of light takes place on Earth, there will be a mass merging of beings who are very benevolent, very uplifting, and very loving. They will come through and operate out of your bodies. You will still maintain your own integrity and your own identity. However, they will blend with you as we blend with our vehicle. They will be able to access the codes and master numbers that you house inside your bodies. The self is a composition of many different life forms, all making up a central soul. As Earth is being catapulted into a new direction, the occupants may perish because they do not meet the new speed at which Earth will vibrate, or they will begin the changes that will prepare them for the ability to blink on and off into the various personalities that make up the collection of the soul. You are forerunners in this, and you are meeting the portions of yourselves that are the most imperative for you to understand. There are many of these selves to meet. You are game masters yourselves, those who orchestrated the reestablishing of Earth's freedom and the seeding of civilizations. These civilizations became alive and activated, and now you are living in one of the most exciting places and times of existence. There are many who support you and wish to merge with you, operate through you, and give you a hand with the job in front of you. You do not have to read a lot of text and balance a lot of computer sheets to carry this job out. All you need is to trust yourselves and design your reality according to your own wits by intending what you, as humans, want to accomplish. Whatever you intend to make as your signature, your mark on this world, it shall be. So dream big. The conjunctions of Uranus and Neptune in 1993, as a galactic tidal wave of light, sent a bolt of electric current onto your planet and activated the potential for the third helix in humans. It triggered the light-encoded filaments to draw together and bundle that third helix. This bridged the electrical current inside your bodies that will access the self you know to the multidimensional self. What does it mean to be a library card? It means that you are on your first step towards certification, towards understanding, bonding, blending, and merging with other energies and allowing them to emerge through you into the living library. When you reach certain states of consciousness, you emit an electromagnetic pulse, like a radio program that others can tune into. You then become very valuable because you can be merged with and others can access the codes. The codes contain formulas for replicating life. Many safeguards were designed so that the most important data stored in humans exists and is accessed only through a certain state of consciousness. Without that, the formulas do not even present themselves into being. The formulas exist through a preservation of a high level of consciousness within humans. If quality of life and existence is tampered with, humans are not able to produce the formulas. We are asking all of you to feel the energy of these beings who wish to merge with you. Ask them to give you a sign. Say, My work is for my own upliftment and that of the planet. If you are in alignment with this, welcome. If you are not, don't even come around. I am not available for that kind of nonsense. You need to state this. Be more in charge. There are many things that are necessary to prepare your body to accommodate awareness of multidimensional energy. Yoga, stretching, breathing, and algae and herbs to supplement your body create room for energy to operate. A body is needed that accommodates the vibration of multidimensional intelligence, so perhaps some of your work involves this preparation. Your natural state of being, and what you are evolving toward, is a multidimensional character who will be able to make peace on this planet and take that peace into other worlds as well. Remember, peace involves a decision that is a standard chosen for your life. Someday there will be many parallel memories to integrate and ideas that suddenly emerge. You will realize that there are layers and layers of yourself experiencing, while a portion of you is so certain nothing is going on. These layers of reality are beginning to split and fragment, and you are moving into new aspects of your abilities and expression. Now, the trick is to catch these things, to spend more time pursuing what you have been inspired to discover over the years. This memory that is being stirred up inside of you can create bodily reactions because it dwells in the cells of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, and it needs to be understood. You are growing into something new, and you are building the framework. We encourage you to have your body adjusted through whatever modality of experience suits your fancy. You could use shiatsu, massage, rolfing, rebirthing, or some method through which you are able to access all of your bodies, mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. Use these methods to move energy beyond any place it may have become stuck. We recommend that you drink great amounts of water, spend time breathing and oxygenating, do toning, and practice allowing unlabeled sound to express itself through your body. Keep your body active and alive. Spend time communicating, meditating with peace, and listening to whatever is speaking to you from the inside. Weave your discoveries into the structure of your life and intend along the way what it is that you want. Clarity is the name of the game here. If you make yourself available without clarity, it is very easy to attract energies that will not accommodate your vibration. This does not mean that those energies are bad. It simply means that they may resonate out of sync with your vibrational intent, which may, of course, be unclear to you. When you are not firm in the stance of yourself, confusion occurs because the energies are not integrating. Your emotions create the quality of your experience as the thought forms hanging out with you. Acting happy and perfect all the time is not the solution. Allow yourself to move through emotional experiences and learn from them. Dark moods and energies that you hold on to become habits or patterns that can create extreme difficulties. You can become what we call a cosmic hooker, an open doorway to any and all unqualified energies. Knowing that the Prime Creator is in all things, this indeed can create a dilemma. In the realm of multidimensionality and merging, animals are adepts. Animals move through dimensions. Have you ever seen an animal or a bird 1 minute, and then the next second it is gone? Animals are very concerned with the quality of life, much more so than you are. When the quality of life is in question, the animals automatically migrate towards a more sustaining reality. They remove themselves into other domains of existence where they are programmed to survive. Insects and frogs, for example, open dimensional avenues with their sounds. Others may travel on sound. Everything dreams, journeying into many realities. You can best relate to the concept of dreaming, knowing that, when you sleep, you go into another world that does exist. Everything exists because it is connected, whether memory is open or not. Beetles, earthworms, and frogs know they go from one reality to another. They go into other worlds, yet they are right here in this world. Many very intelligent forms of life can manifest themselves by merging with the animal and plant kingdoms. In this way, they can come peek into your reality. Now, these many intelligent forms of life want to merge with you, the library cards. The way they can access the library through you as humans is quite different from the way they can access the library by coming in as squirrels. You are complex. You have a tremendous amount of knowledge inside of you. And, as you prepare yourselves to merge with other forms of sentient existence, you will be able to bring peace to your planet. You will be able to bring a magnificent new upliftment, a new way of being, a new prayer. It will seem as if it is coming out of you, and yet you will know that it is more than you. Understand that there is a great intelligence in all life forms, and the experience of all life is waiting for you. Open your emotional selves and employ the vital force of love as the key to your own spiritual evolution. The living library's doorway in your body is your genitals, and if you learn how to use this doorway, it serves as an opening into the records of time. Sexuality aligns your body into a state of healing and opens gateways to the stars. Sexuality in a bonded, loving relationship can be profound and take you into other worlds, revitalize your body, and remind your body of its most idealized patterns. Using sexual expression to regenerate yourself rather than degenerate yourself is the ideal you will pursue. Dealing with sexuality involves dealing with hormones. Sex excites the very core of your cells, and the light-encoded filaments become entwined with one another. In a magnet, the energies all line up and face the same way. When you become sexual and do the dance that starts in your hormones, your whole body lines up in one direction. When you and another individual are lined up, you are like the North and South poles. Your body turns into a magnet. When you and another individual achieve a heightened state of electromagnetic force, you pull on one another and create a balance between each other. When you get really good at this, you will not even have to touch each other. You can create this web of love between you, and it is through this force field that your inner bodies arise and go into other worlds. We think sexuality is one of the most exciting gifts you have been given, and we want to guide you further along this journey so that you can have a better time on Earth. Love yourself and love Earth because they are one and the same, and that means every part of your body. You need to talk about sex. Make a commitment to accept every area of your body and to draw a partner to yourself who will honor every area of your body. Know that your partner will be wanting and willing to pioneer this glorious part of your God-Goddess force. You inherit the blueprint of every person with whom you have sex, so you have not only your own stuff to deal with, but theirs as well. When your body comes together with another's, your chakras are stirred and your kundalini is moved. If your kundalini is only moved into your lower two chakras, and it is not a full body infusion, you can have hooks into the other person's auric field, and they can have hooks into yours. This is why it is important to be very selective about who you are going to have sex with. Make sure, if you are going to go for it, that you have some kind of bond and commitment, and that you plan on working things out. Because in this day of accelerated time and sped up energy, you can take on everything from someone else. Sex is wonderful. It is absolutely one of the most glorious gifts that you have as a human being to discover your identity. However, you must learn how to use it. No one has educated you on the ramifications of the energy link that comes from having sex with people. You may want to do a number of ceremonies or rituals with the intention of releasing people's energy from your field. Smudging is a very good ritual to clear your energy field. Churches all use it. Many institutions use incense or smoke of some kind to clear energy. Smoke is multidimensional. When you smudge, it is an indication you are taking a step to cleanse, clear, and release the energy so that there are no attachments. You may want to smudge your body and smudge your home. If you are a man, when you have sex you can learn to retain the sperm and not ejaculate. There are certain techniques to do this. Pressing on the perineum, the small area between the anus and the scrotum, holds the life force inside the body, and the orgasm changes. Humans have been tricked into having genital orgasms, which are localized experiences, rather than full-body cosmic experiences. If you think about how many bodies you are, you will realize that you can experience orgasm in all of these bodies. So as you reconsider and redefine how you are pleasured, you begin to experience different ways of receiving pleasure, and you move out of the locality of the genital area. There is also tremendous excitement that can come from looking into each other's eyes, exchanging the strands of DNA. This is the heart connection into the eyes of the soul, the heart of the soul. Of course you can close your eyes. However, a tremendous amount of eye contact changes the experience. You may also wish to work with your chakras, touching especially each other's heart chakras. Put your hand on the heart chakra of your partner and keep your hearts open. Perhaps you can change your focus during intercourse to not reach climax immediately. Have fun and build to the point just before climax, then hold that frequency, subside to a point, and build it again and again. Take some time with it. When you honor the process, spending hours doing so, because this creates a deep intimacy and the experience will last you so much longer. The rejuvenation or regeneration of the life force occurs when there are hours and hours of intimacy, with your eyes open and you learning to get your body to do what you want it to do. An orgasm is not a local event. There are people who can have their ears tickled and have orgasms. There are people who can have their wrists tickled and have orgasms. You can have orgasms when you dream. You can have orgasms when you are out of your body. The orgasm is misunderstood. You think it is a local event of the genital area. It is not. It is a cosmic event that has been interpreted to be localized so that you would miss the point. It is an ongoing pulsation of godhood and goddesshood, of pleasure and of connecting to the pulse of existence. So it can occur anywhere. If you were really tuned in to your sexuality, taking a bite of delicious food could send an orgasm through you if you were that free. It is the height of appreciating the divinity in all things. There is nothing wrong with masturbation. It is a fine practice if you learn to honor your body and the rightness of stimulating certain feelings within your body. Masturbate without projection, without shame, and without dragging varieties of unknowns into your body through thought. It is tricky, like everything. It is a fine art form, but it is not to be practiced solely as a form of release. If you are using masturbation to release tension, then you need to reconsider. If you have never masturbated, then how can you expect to have sex with someone else and expect them to know your body when you don't know it yourself? Sexuality will take on a whole different value and become one of the most important forces discussed as earth changes become more pronounced. As your society disintegrates, you will want to reevaluate everything. You will want to be close, to be committed, and to have a partner you can count on. As you become aware of life extension, and understand about everything speeding up, you will eventually experience great movements of rejuvenation. The partners that you choose will be partners you know and have known for tens of thousands of years. If you are female, you can help your male partner open up by accepting yourself and your own body, and by creating for yourself a standard about the kind of man you are available for. You will magnetize this kind of man because he will be willing to learn and change. The male vibrations, in general, are very confused at this time, not knowing for certain what their identity is. They are going to find out that they need to draw to themselves those who will integrate them into these changes. The more you can be stabilized in your love for your body and in your willingness to know what you want and what your intentions are, the easier it will be for men. One of the big taboos in your society has been oral sex. We've said that woman's substance of power is blood, while the substance of power for men is sperm. Sperm carries a tremendous amount of data, while blood can be likened to an elixir of healing, a source of life. Both offer revitalization and rejuvenation. When you share these substances while in a bonded, loving relationship, it is the ultimate in sharing your secret power. It is the ultimate in blending in your identities so that you can remember who you are and why, in this lifetime, you have come together. When you ingest these substances, you create a very deep bonding. It is like drinking or infusing the secrets and sum total of the individuals from whom they came. Again, we will state here that without the ingredient of love, you will never reach this exalted state of achievement. We suggest that couples who have sex have an intention around their sexual activity. This does not take the spontaneity out of it. It does not mean that you have to get organized and structured and make appointments and have all of this processing before you come together. As you develop intimacy, sexual activity does not take place only when your hormones are zinging. Sexual expression takes place continuously. As you walk into a market, you can carry on a conversation about your sexuality. You don't have to lock that experience into the bedroom, or when you are having a drink, or within certain little boxes of performance. You are going to be infused with this energy. It is part of what will train you about your divinity. It is essential. You have many things to look forward to in the sexual arena. Stay open, evaluate your present beliefs around sexuality, and explore your boundaries. Sexuality is your birthright and your heritage as humans. It is your gift from the gods. Time is a construct. On Earth, you have been under the assumption that the present springs from the past. We suggest that the present springs from the future as well. Time has many doorways through it, and the past and future both have their own validity and importance. This is all part of the ever-expanding now. The past, in its now, continues to influence its ongoing now. These ongoing nows continue to grow and mature, the same as their future counterparts. The assignment you are on involves changing your past as you spring from the future in order to create a different present. You are ruled by cycles and rhythms. A main influence that designs the pulse of life is the moon. Through the moon's cycles, and by the revolving of Earth on her axis and Earth's rotation around the sun, you make and define time. The moon, of course, in orbit around the Earth, acts as Earth's celestial companion on the cyclical journeys. Until the advent of electricity, these were the rhythms through which life was lived and defined for thousands of years. People could watch time pass. Day turned into night, and night turned into day. Time had distinctions. People could watch the seasons pass, and time was based on something that could be verified. With electricity came the breaking of these rhythms, where there could be light past dark. People